Back in the day when YouTube was basically a teenager trying to find this identity, they decided to launch a little service that you guys might remember called YouTube Red. Aside from sounding like an April Fool's joke, it was a pretty sweet deal. I mean, just having no ads was a pretty killer feature that a lot of people wanted. But YouTube really wanted to sweeten the deal. They really wanted to earn those $10 a month from you, which $10 sounds like an insane deal today. I mean, right now the price is insane. $26 for a family plan? Are you kidding me? So they launched their own suite of premium content worthy of your $10 a month, featuring the biggest names in YouTube like PewDiePie, Logan Paul, the Corridor Crew, and yep, that's about it. No else that I can think of. So Defy, the parent company of Smosh at the time, most likely saw that YouTube was throwing around millions of dollars to these big creators for those creators to create high quality premium content for YouTube Red. They decided to put Smosh up for the task. I mean, they were already humongous movie stars with the critically acclaimed Smosh the movie, right? So who better to claim the millions that YouTube was dishing out at the time? Who cares if the Smosh team wasn't ready to take on a whole movie? Just throw a script at them, a couple of bucks, and call it a day, right? I mean, half of my channel is based on me randomly remembering things, but for Ghostmates, I remember watching it and that's about it. Like, I couldn't tell you any of the set pieces of this movie. And that's likely the case for most people that saw this movie. I mean, even Smosh themselves do not acknowledge this movie. They have posters for Smosh the movie everywhere around their sets, but never for Ghostmates, at least not that I've seen. Never mind, I found this poster they had while they were playing hide and seek. It's like this movie doesn't exist for them, or for YouTube for that matter. Full disclosure, I'm a raging idiot. I was going on pirating sites to watch this movie because I didn't remember that it was on YouTube, but by the time that I did remember, and the fact that I have YouTube Premium, I searched for Ghostmates on YouTube and nothing popped up. It's like they literally don't want you to watch this movie. I mean, do it yourself. Search for Ghostmates and the only thing that'll pop up is the trailer and a bootleg of the movie, which is still up for some reason. I went on Smosh's channel, could not find this movie. I searched for YouTube originals, could not find it. It's only when I searched for Ghostmates Smosh movie on Google that I found not the video, but the playlist featuring the video where I was able to watch the movie. Well, seeing that I found it, what are we waiting for? Let's watch YouTube's and Defy's answer to Netflix original programming. Smosh's Ghostmates. Holy Defy media jump scare. And what do you mean T-Pain? How is T-Pain literally everywhere, even back then? Ghostmates follows a simple premise. Ed, played by Ian, is a bumbling idiot and faces an untimely demise after messing up his relationship. And it's funny how already within the first few shots, the quality is like 20 times better than the actual Smosh movie. And I never thought I would live in a world where Ian would outact an actual actor on set. Anyways, this movie starts with Ian asking out his girlfriend Jessica for him to move in with him as roommates soon, which for some reason made Jessica mad. Anyways, Ian Hecox fucking dies. I think outside of some gore movies, this is one of the most horrifying deaths put to camera. Like, holy shit, Final Destination wishes they could come up with something this disturbing. The Three Stooges show up, coroners, crime scene cleanup people, I don't know. They deem that Ian has died to
autoerotic asphyxiation. You don't understand.
And that's not two pieces of media where I've heard that term, which is two more than I ever wanted to hear. But BoJack Horseman was a really good show.
I'm black.
Thanks, Ian. In comes Anthony. And I refuse to call them by their in-movie name. Anthony is our proclaimed ghostmate. We see him moving into the apartment where Ian splooged himself to death, paying only $300? Sign me to fuck up. I'm over here paying $1,400 for rent. I'd let a fucker haunt me all day, every day. So the main premise of this movie is that Anthony is the only one who can see Ian. So he forces himself to become his roommate. Oh, that's why it's called Ghostmates. So there's a lot of cool themes they could explore in this movie. The benefits of being an invisible ghost, coping with the fact that you're a part of the living dead stuck in this mortal plane. But no, they really gotta show how they got a Microsoft Surface advertisement. Can you tell this is sponsored by Microsoft? So at least till about 20 minutes into this movie, it just doesn't have a plot. More like a few skits tied together. Anthony tries to sell his drawing tablet for $100 and then the guy starts moshing in his house, breaking everything. Ian randomly buys Anthony tickets to see T-Pain at his birthday party for $10,000. Mind you, using Anthony's credit card, which he overdrafts. Anthony gets reasonably pissed at this and ends up having a very awkward argument with the ghost. And T-Pain thinks that he's being mean to him instead. Anthony ends up leaving, and the only reasonable thing that could have happened in this situation happens. Ian kills T-Pain. T-Pain is canonically dead in the Smosh universe. Ian and T-Pain have a conversation.
Wait, I'm dead?
Yeah, you were involved in a freak theatrical sandbag accident that I had no part in.
A sandbag killed T-Pain.
It's a hard watch, and it honestly feels like both of them aren't being paid enough to be here right now. They make a joke about T-Pain's carrot, which I'm gonna play for you right now.
Had a dope career, even more dope garden.
Oh, what?
My carrots look like full-on black guy penises.
Those must be some pretty big carrots.
Thank you, Ian. And unlike Smosh the movie, this movie actually made me laugh.
What are they saying?
Come on, give me a second. Oh, no kidding. Oh, look at my dog's up here.
This information is not relevant to me.
Yeah.
I might just be cooked. So T-Pain gets to go to heaven, presumably because they ran out of budget for him. And this movie finally gets a plot. Ian must reconcile with the people he has wronged in his life, which is his girlfriend, his dad, and his chemistry teacher, whose life Ian ruined after changing his name from Rick Bowman to Dick Blowman. This is true comedy right here. So first person on the list is Ian's old chemistry teacher, who is only on Ian's unfinished business list because of a dick joke, mind you.
I was on the yearbook staff, and to get back at him, I photoshopped his picture and changed the spelling of his name.
Dick Blowman?
Yeah.
That Photoshop job is just not good. Maybe if Microsoft paid them more, it wouldn't be clipping off in the bottom. Ian thinks that this joke couldn't have lasted all these years and that this fad has passed over, but alas.
Books to page 7, everybody.
Mr. Blowman, I have a question.
The name is Bowman, but what is your question?
What's it like to blow a man?
This joke was so funny that the entire class had to stop and laugh. But that has to be some of the worst acting I've seen, and I've been watching this movie for 40 minutes already. To fix all of this, Ian and Anthony come up with the most batshit idea I think I've ever seen. Ian lights a chemical fire in a locked room and lures Dick Blowman over with his ghost powers. They then convince him that they need him to blow up the door using chemistry. I don't know, have his students like him? This was all to make the Blowman joke not about being about dick sucking. Oh my god. This sucks. This sucks a lot. This sucks so much. And it's only been going on for 2 or 3 minutes. But believe me when I say it felt like hours. And that is a recurring theme in this movie. Things just go on for too fucking long. Like, this movie would have been magnitudes better if it was a 30-minute long skit on the Smosh channel. It feels like they had to stretch every set piece to over 20 minutes just to pad out their runtime. There was no point in this whole chemistry scene where I felt any sort of joy, but maybe that's just me. Anyways, back to the B plot of this movie, the Microsoft Surface, which has his dog shit comic which caused him to get fired from his old job. Also, I just realized, did he sell a Microsoft Surface tablet for $100? Anthony explains his comic to Ian. Just watch it.
And it's freaking hilarious. So this comic I was working on is about this socialist opossum that was being oppressed by his capitalist overlords. It's called Overlord Oppressed Opossum.
Cool.
Right? And look, and his catchphrase, check this out, you ready? I'm so oppressed.
So in the middle of this, Jessica comes back to grab her stuff from Ian's apartment, walks in unprompted, and judges Anthony for living here. What's your problem, lady? She questions him about why all of Ian's stuff is still scattered around. But according to this movie, he just moved in and he's broke. Of course he's gonna leave his stuff here. And this is where the worst aspects of this movie come to fruition. Something which I like to call the awkward cucking scenes. You may be really caught off guard by that name, but trust me, it's worse than it sounds. Every scene with Jessica in it has Ian forcing Anthony to make really weird comments and ask odd questions such as,
Did you like him?
No!
Which is probably the worst thing to ask after someone's partner dies. These scenes are just so uncomfortable, and I guess they're going for making cringe comedy so cringe that it turns out to being funny, but it just makes this movie so hard to watch. It doesn't help that they keep going on for way too long every single time. But don't worry, it'll get worse. To reconcile with his dad, Ian decides to go to his own funeral. Ian hasn't talked to his dad for years because his dad doesn't like Thomas Edison.
Thomas Edison is a little bitch.
What?
Wouldn't this funeral be a lot funnier if no one showed up? Like, I get that the absurdity of these old people is technically a joke, but imagine if Ian looked up and there was just nobody in the funeral hall. So to reconcile with Ian's dad, they basically convince him that he's schizophrenic by having Anthony lay behind the coffin and have a conversation with Ian's dad, pretending to be his dead son. That is so fucked up in so many ways. And say it with me, folks, somehow it worked. That is pretty much the tagline for this movie.
I didn't die like that! Okay, Dad?
I'm not a pervert.
This is your Netflix competitor, people. Jessica happens to be at this funeral, so why not kill two birds with one stone, right? It's not like we got 40 minutes left of this movie. I get that this is cringe comedy, but I just can't sit through these scenes, man. Why does Anthony have piss jars? Why is one of the bottles red? To the average viewer, it seems pretty obvious where this plot would be heading. Anthony falls in love with Jessica. Ian gets jealous that Anthony's falling in love with Jessica. You know, normal plot structure, yada yada yada. But no, Ghostmates respects your time and wants to deliver an experience that you will never see coming. Ian really wants to get cucked. Ian desperately wants to get cucked. And Anthony is not into it. Anthony, I really need you to fuck my girlfriend. Anthony, come on, please. Anthony, you need to bang my girlfriend and I'm like a ghost, so I'm just gonna be watching through the wall, okay? Please, Anthony. You want me to go to heaven, right? Right, Anthony, please. For everything that this movie had, you know what else it needed? An extended Indian-themed scene. The fuck am I watching? Some suit at Defy or YouTube or fucking hell itself said that, you know what's really famous? India. Major Laser's Lean On. Coldplay's Hymn for the Weekend. Really showcase Indian culture. It's 2016, so you know what we gotta do? A whole 8 minutes of Bollywood dancing. Why is it going on for so long? Why is it still going? It's still fucking going. There's a second act. Where am I? Whose wedding is this? Okay, so this movie just turned into a Bollywood movie, straight up. This was during an era where Indian culture was actually praised and not just a racist dog whistle. But why is it still going? That was like a solid 8 minutes of this Indian section, and there's still 20 minutes left of this movie. For some reason, this is the only part of the movie that I actually remember watching. Maybe the random Indian vibe really confused me and got itself ingrained in my head. And once again, as if it's the theme of this movie, they just drag the jokes for too long. They just need to stop the joke.
When I was 12, I choked on a corn dog and almost died. I was like pretty much dead for 2 full minutes, and I still take everything for granted.
How do you choke on a corn dog?
I was trying to see how far I could fit the corn dog in my throat.
Why would a 12-year-old boy need to try that?
I just wanted to see if I could fit the full corn dog in my throat and wrap my lips around the stick.
Why are they talking about corn dogs for so long? So in Ian's ongoing quest to making Jessica fall in love with Anthony, he in turn has made a very complex love triangle. Anthony is meshing well with Sam and Sam loves Anthony back. But Jessica and Sam are attached at the hip and Ian wants to cuck himself as stated previously. Because Anthony keeps talking to Sam, Ian takes over Anthony's body and shits his pants.
I did bad.
Hey, remember that time Smosh made a movie about sexual assault? No. Let me remind you.
Charlie, what the hell are you doing? Stop!
So Anthony shitting himself in front of the huzz finally causes this movie to get to its third act. After the last 20 minutes that I saw felt like a whole hour, I can't wait for the story to actually start paying itself off. However, the whole third act misunderstanding gets resolved in a single scene. An actual single fucking scene. All that build up for a single scene. What? Oh my god. We really needed that 15 minutes of Indian dancing just so that our third act was a whole 15 minutes long. But I digress. Now, earlier in this movie, Anthony, in another futile attempt at helping Ian and Jessica, he gets a job at CSI ZCD, where Jessica works as a zombie alongside Sam. Wow, they are actually tied together at the hip in this movie. After Anthony shat himself, he heads back to the ZCD set where a late night shoot was taking place so that Ian can reconcile with Jessica one last time. You know what? For how bad some parts of this movie was, the final reconciliation was actually pretty heartfelt and honestly better than most of the movie before it. But Sam is the best part of this scene. So Anthony, after trying not to act like a crazy guy hopped up on drugs, convinces Jessica that Ian is standing right beside him. Ian grabs Jessica's shoulder and suddenly Jessica can see Ian. The same Ian which she fucking hated on in the beginning of this movie. Are you forgetting that? Then T-Pain returns and gives T-Pain magic, and T-Pain proves himself to be the funniest part of this movie yet again.
Is that T-Pain?
What's up, beautiful baby?
Hi, T-Pain.
Yeah, it's your boy. Now, let me tell you something though, Eddie. I don't know how you got a girl that fine,
No idea.
but kudos, homie.
Who are you talking to?
T-Pain and Eddie, there's a portal. It's a lot going on right now.
You know, if only the rest of the movie was this well written, because the ending is the most tightly written portion of this whole movie, which probably isn't saying a lot considering this movie is more like a car crash than anything. So Anthony ends up turning this whole movie into a comic, and Ian comes back from heaven and turns into his guardian angel. And it ends with Indian music again. Okay, man. Wow, I really feel like Alex Myers today. besides being an incel. YouTube really thought, Defy really thought that this would be the reason YouTube can take on the bigwigs of the industry and turn YouTube in a serious platform. This movie didn't have a budget released, but it could very well be in the millions. Hence why it looks so much better than anything else they have done. And they have actual actors instead of just the Smosh crew in this movie, even though they do have a pretty cool cameo. But this movie really shows the main reason that YouTube originals spectacularly failed. Almost every piece of premium content with YouTubers just did not work. You can't just throw money at a problem and expect it to fix itself and make something amazing. Some YouTubers just aren't cut out to make feature-length movies. Hence why they are YouTubers. And that's not me being harsh. Doing YouTube is a completely separate skill set than making a movie. But a lot of things could have been done so much better in this movie. And the whole YouTube originals catalog as a whole. Starting with, let me actually find the movies on the platform. I mean, you paid so much money, let me fucking watch it. I don't think Smosh is ever gonna make another movie. And honestly, they don't need to. It's an archaic mindset that the next evolution after becoming a YouTuber is to get into the mainstream media, like TV shows and movies and late night shows. That is unless it's your passion and you want to do that. But there's no reason to force it upon yourself thinking that it's the next step or have it be forced on you. Defy. Overall, Ghostmates, in my opinion, is a very subpar watch. I didn't go into this trying to find every problem. The problems just presented themselves to me. I couldn't sit through lots of parts of this movie just because of how cringe they were. Even though this is technically cringe comedy, I like cringe comedy. This is just uncomfortable, and it's due to its bad writing, dragging every scene and dragging every joke on and on and on until it just, something that wasn't unfunny becomes something you hate. But it's still better than the Smosh movie, by a long shot. Anyways, when's the Shane top Reddit stories movie? Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, drop a like, dislike it if you disliked it. I don't fucking care anymore. You can hit the subscribe button, and after doing that, get out of here.
You are my SpongeBob, my only SpongeBob. You make me patty at Krusty Krab.